Good afternoon. Today is Wednesday, September the 9th. Today we looked at section 2.2 in geometry entitled Logic. I'm going to show you the biggest thing you need to understand out of this section is Venn diagrams and what each part represents. So let me share my screen here and I'll show you an example of a Venn diagram. Okay, so when we look at a Venn diagram, it's included in a rectangle here. The rectangle represents the universal area. So if we look, and then inside the rectangle we have circles to represent different properties. So let's say we have a circle here. We'll get one circle there. And we'll get another circle here. Now this circle has got to overlap that circle. And then we'll get a third circle, which we can come down here and start down here. Let's don't do that. And we'll start it on the side here. We'll go like this, okay? So now, so you can kind of see here. Now, so what we will have here, if we look at these circles, the upper left circle here will represent, if we're talking about taking a survey of the type of reading people like. So this upper left survey here could be novels, so we'll label that N. And this upper right circle here we could label poetry. So we will label this poetry, P-O-E-T. And then the third circle down here we can label for people who like to read plays. Okay, now, so if we look at a given section here now, so if you look, there are basically 8 regions in this picture here. This region here in the middle, in this case we did 200, so we're going to have a 72 here. And what that tells us is that of the 200 people that we surveyed, 200 is our total population, 72 of them say they like poetry and plays and novels. They like all 3. Okay, so that's why they're in the circle. They're in the middle here. They're in the novel circle, they're in the poetry circle, and they're in the play circle. Okay, now if I come down here to right here, we're going to put 5 in here. Now what that says is there are 5 people here that like poetry and plays, but not novels. And if we look at the novels and the poetry here, if we put 6 in here, there are 6 people who like novels and poetry, but not plays. And then over here with the novels and the plays, we can put 35. So we got 35 in here. And there are 35 people who like novels and plays, but not poetry. And then if we look, okay, out here in the novel section, we have 45. And this area here, because it's only in the novel circle, it's not in the poetry circle, it's not in the play circle, there are 45 people here who like novels only. And then over here in the poetry circle, we'll put 8 people here. So that means there are 8 people that like poetry only. No novels, no plays. And then down here in the play section, we'll come in here and put 26. So now, if you add all these up, if you look here, say we've got 35 and 5 is 40 here. We're going to add the place circle. So we got 40 plus 98. So that's 40 and 98. That's the total in the place circle. And then we add the 8 and the 6 across here, which makes 14. And we add the 45, which is up here. So now we have 45. Now, if we add all these up, we get 12 and 5 is 17. And we get 5, 9 is 14, 15, and 4 is 19. So we notice that we have accounted for 197 of the 200 people who were surveyed. So what that tells us is out here in this region here, which is part of the non-circular region, there are 3 people who took this survey who like neither of the 3. So they don't fit in any one of the 3 circles. So when you come along here and say, okay, how many people like novels and plays but not poetry? So you look here at the novels and the plays intersection. Here's the whole intersection, but this 72 is inside the poetry circle, so you have to ignore them, and you get an answer of 35. If you want to know how many people only like poetry, then this 8 right here, because that's the part of the poetry circle that's outside of both the novel circle and the play circle. So your homework assignment tonight is asking you to analyze a Venn diagram similar to this. So look at what you got there, and then as usual, or as always, if you have questions or if you have need some help, send me an email and I'll be glad to get back to you. So this time I'll stop the recording, and I'll be back with you again tomorrow.